Hey there berries, welcome to my 13.21 support tier list. This patch is going live on the 25th of October 2023 and there are a few support changes coming into this one. There's going to be some supports that are going to be viable in the jungle, so if you get auto-filled jungle it might be nice to play one or two of these champions coming up. Nerfs in terms of support, nothing actually really getting nerfed. There are some minor adjustments, as we mentioned, to some of those supports getting moved into the jungle. Some stat switches going on, but like nothing crazy. And I think the champions affected, in particular the Brand and the Zyra, are going to be fine playing support. I think they're still going to be pretty strong, but we'll go through the actual tier list at the end. Seraphine is getting quite a huge adjustment, and we're going to be going through that, and I don't think a lot of Seraphine players are necessarily going to enjoy the change, but we'll go through it. So the first one is blah, 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 Brand. So both the Zyra and the Brand are both going to be receiving attack speed level 1 buff in order to last hit for the mid lane, and also able to just kill the jungle ever so slightly quicker as well. If you do play Brand in the jungle now, do take Q level 1. They're adamant about it. I'm sure it's really important. They've mentioned it like 4 times. So take Q level 1 in the jungle. Yeah, so you can see the attack speed growth going up, base armor going up quite a significant amount. That +5 is actually pretty huge, but the flip side of that is the armor growth is going down. But for support specifically for very early levels, it's actually kind of a buff. You are losing 20 base HP, but I think the 20 HP as a trade-off for the +5 armor, I think is kind of worth it. So as a support, I'm kind of happy with that. Also the health growth going up a little bit to make up for this base HP growth. So yeah, over like a, once you hit like level 3, for example, I think you're actually technically stronger, tankiness wise, tank Brand, than if you were without this patch. So I think Brand is actually going to be slightly stronger in very early laning phase, and then after that it's going to be pretty much the same. The passive monster damage modifier is going to go up, but he's still going to do maximum damage per tick of 80 anyway. And then you've got the E configuration is going down by 5 damage base. So very slight damage nerf there to make up maybe for some slight tank buff there. So on the whole, not really overly concerned about it. Brand is going to be staying in the exact same place as he was in the previous tier list. And if you've forgotten what that was, I will be showing that in just a second. Caitlyn's lethality build is getting nerfed and then shifted into crit. Jinx's passive is getting changed slightly, nothing really that interesting. And then we go to Morgana. Morgana receiving a buff across the board for everywhere. Morgana support W buff is getting for everyone. So before, every time you put a point in, the W increases by 10 per point. With the change, it's going up by like, so once you put a 1 point in, +1, +2, +3, and then +4 compared to what it used to be. So you're getting more value per point that you're putting into W, but like a very, very, very small amount. So yeah, I don't know, maybe more of a case now to maybe do like W max first on Morgana, then max Q if you really want to. That could be a possible build on her. This is now like ever so slightly stronger now because of it, so might be worth testing out. Seraphine, blah blah blah. The main thing is Seraphine is like there's a couple of things here. Mana regeneration is getting nerfed quite a lot in a way. So yes, they are increasing it on the base value. They're reducing the mana regeneration growth, so this is per level. Mana regeneration is getting hit quite a lot after 6. Base mana is also going down by 80, which I think is kind of stupid actually, but the mana growth that you're getting per level is going up +10. I think the biggest one to take away from here is the base armor is going up, right? So Seraphine is going to be significantly more tankier in lane. 19 to 26 is huge. +7 is mental. Health growth is going down though, so you lose 14 health per levels. But this base health, so very early on in the laning phase, she's actually going to be like noticeably more tankier and not quite as squishy. Really lots of different stat switches going here. Mana regeneration is going to feel definitely a bit weird if you have been playing Seraphine a lot. You're definitely going to feel a little bit tankier because of the armor early on, and then that might fall off a little bit as the game goes on, but the base armor overall is quite nice, especially with how much lethality there is in the game. So overall, Seraphine will feel a little bit tankier. So positive there. This is where things start getting weird, because they go on about in this whole like wall of text here saying they want Seraphine support to be more of a thing. They don't want to buff AP too much, but the only things I'm really getting from this is really AP buffs in terms of like gearing you more towards maxing Q, maxing E, and then maxing W last. And the stat numbers here are kind of weird. So they're nerfing the cooldown on Q level 1. Sorry, buffing. So go from 10 to 9. Nothing changes when you max it though, but the base damage goes up quite significantly, but the AP ratio is reduced? Question mark. I think they've done some sort of weird thing here actually. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe it used to be a 65% AP ratio, now it's got put down to 50. I think that's probably what's happened there. But the base damage has gone up. The base damage also on her E has gone up significantly as well. So you can see 5 points in E has gone from 140 to 200. And don't forget that can be a double cast on E as well. So there could be 120 more damage, base damage on her E with 5 points. Now, this W though is bad. This W is bad, really bad. So mana cost is going up a bazonka's amount, plus 30 there. Cooldown will go down if you max it, which is nice, I guess. Shield is going up on base marginally, but the real kicker here is this one. The missing health heal is absolutely terrible. Like overall, I'd say it wasn't like that fantastic before anyway. 7% plus a 0.4 per 100 AP that you had. Going down to a flat 5%. There's no even AP ratio on this either, which is kind of weird. So the heal on the W has been absolutely gutted, but the base shield has gone up absolutely slightly, but the mana costs have gone up a lot. You can't max this first. You're not maxing W first. That's not an option. I'd even argue maxing W second might not even be possible either. We're going to have to probably test this, so expect some Seraphine videos coming up. We're going to have to play some Seraphine, but she's turned into more of like a damage enchanter rather than like an enchanter like Soraka. She's definitely more like Sona, I guess. She's definitely more of a damage pokey kind of enchanter now, as opposed to worrying about much about the W. So you're going to be definitely want to be harassing with the E, harassing with the Q, and this W is just kind of just there. It feels kind of lost with these changes. I think they screwed up honestly in terms of making her feel more enchanter wise. I feel like, I don't know, I might be wrong, but if I'm going to be playing an enchanter, I would like this thing here to be like, you know, the most kind of sought after thing, or at least second, maxing second. But maxing second still kind of looks kind of bad, I'm going to be honest. I don't know. I don't like it. Build wise, right, I've been harping on about Echoes of Helia and Ardent Senza. So you might be going into those kind of things a little bit more with the extra poke and things and stuff that you're going into, but the damage should be going up significantly. So she's definitely going to be much more damaging, less on the actual utility, which is kind of weird, but we'll see how that goes. The Zyra also getting changed, attack speed buff level 1, which is going to be quite nice. They've done more damage in her Q, so her Q base damage with more points is going up. But the trade-off is that you're losing some damage in the E. AP ratio is going up, however, both on the E and the Q, so it's going to make it up for a little bit on the E on the bit that you're losing. So overall, I'd probably say, and honestly, Zyra has like always been kind of tier 1 generally, like in my support tier list, right? My support tier list of unranked to late Emerald, and Zyra has always been like tier 1. Honestly, I think overall, this is not going to change her at all. I'd argue maybe in some cases she's going to be slightly stronger, particularly if you're going for like the Q maxing build. If you don't need to worry about your E, or if like you can't really land your E, that maybe you're up against like double poke and you're going to be taking Q at least 3 points in Q, like early on, maybe to set up like a Jin or a Misfortune. I'd say this is overall a buff for Zyra, a minor one, but still a buff. And yeah, I mean, sometimes you max E, it's going to feel like a very slight nerf, I'd say, if you are maxing E, but you're probably not really going to feel it that much because you still got the plus 10% AP ratio here to make up some of this base damage going down. So on the whole, you're probably not really going to notice a whole lot of difference in Zyra, which is quite surprising. So Zyra support is still going to be very good. Hole Breaker is going to be nerfed, just so that you know, and that should be a bit more easier to manage on the split pushing. First Strike getting nerfed, but I thought it got nerfed to 7% before anyway. Phase Rush is also getting nerfed as well, and that is it. And we'll go into the actual tier list now. I already spoiled it at the top, but the main things I want to take note of here is the champions that have been moved up. Seraphine was tier 5 and she's been moved into tier 3. Morgana also moved up from tier 4 into tier 3, so these are kind of viable support champions now. We'll definitely do the Seraphine testing this week, and next week I'll be streaming on Twitch and YouTube as well. I've been doing multi-streaming across both the platforms, so when I'm going live on Twitch, I'm also live on YouTube, and I hope you guys have been enjoying watching the streams on your favorite platforms. Also in tier 2, nothing really changing there. Brand is still sitting in tier 2 quite comfortably after the changes going into him. And in the tier 1, you still got the Zyra, you still got the enchanters up there doing pretty well. Like overall, not really a whole lot is going to change if you're playing support, but it's nice now that we can play a Zyra or Brand jungle. You know, if you feel like a change of pace, or if you get autofilled into that, it's gonna be interesting. I might, who knows, I might even upload a jungle Brand or Zyra video, just to kind of maybe point people in the right direction, maybe on how to play those. But yeah, I mean, if you're already playing the Zyra and the Brand and you get autofilled into a jungle, it should be viable for you to play those but in the jungle and learn how to play jungle. So that's kind of neat. It's one of the nice things, like for AD carries, for example, like to get to play like Senna, for example, or like maybe even like the Seraphine, if they played like AP carry Seraphine, lets them, like, you know, play the other role and not have to worry about how to play their own champion. But us being able to do that now in the jungle is pretty nice. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy the tier list. Hope you guys have been enjoying the live streams. Be sure to check them out. I stream pretty much every day, so keep your eyes peeled. Join discord.gg/Bizzleberry if you do want to get those live stream notifications. And yeah, expect another video tomorrow. Maybe it'll be Seraphine, so be sure to subscribe to see a Seraphine video. All the best, berries. Take care and see you tomorrow. Bye.